There are moments when you do everything possible, and even so, you still feel that something doesn't fully align, as if there were an invisible barrier between what you desire and what you actually experience. And yet, it is not a coincidence that you are here right now. In fact, if you could observe all the variables, all the decisions, all the paths that had to cross to bring you to this instant, you would understand that the probability is practically non-existent. But here you are. And that means that something within you had already recognized this moment, even before your conscious mind could understand it. Joe Dispenza explains that we do not manifest what we simply want, but what we are capable of sustaining as an internal state. And when the body, the mind, and the energy begin to enter into coherence, reality stops being a struggle and begins to respond. Perhaps what you have interpreted as blocks has not been a lack of ability, but rather a silent signal of misalignment, an invitation to change the starting point, not what you do, but from where you do it. Because there is a deeper intelligence within you, one that does not require effort, one that already knows. And in this instant, something begins to reorganize, even if you still cannot explain it. If you feel that this message resonates with you, perhaps it is not just a coincidence, but a signal that you are already entering a new way of perceiving yourself. In Mastery of Manifestation, this space is built through consistent practice, where each experience strengthens internal coherence. And as Joe Dispenza teaches, it is in that conscious repetition where the brain and the body begin to transform. If you feel it, you can subscribe and become part of this shared frequency and write in the comments, "I align with my new reality." Each intention adds and expands the field that we are creating together. And in the moment, you recognize that you did not arrive here by chance. Something begins to change in the way you prepare yourself to live this experience. This is not a conventional meditation. It is not a simple space to relax before sleeping. It is a process where your body begins to release what it has been holding throughout the day, while your conscious mind reduces its activity, and something deeper takes control. Joe Dispenza has explained that it is precisely in these states, when brain waves descend into alpha and theta levels, where the analytical mind stops interfering, and the body can enter into coherence with a new internal state. What happens here does not depend on effort, but on the silent reorganization that activates when you stop trying and begin to align. This space is a training where your mind, your body, and your energy begin to synchronize naturally as you move closer to rest. And as you go deeper into this state, it is possible that you begin to recognize something very familiar within you, a feeling that you have been carrying in silence, as if you were doing everything necessary, but without seeing the reflection of that effort in your reality. Perhaps you have felt mental fatigue, a constant repetition of thoughts, or even a disconnection that is difficult to explain, as if one part of you were moving forward, while another remained stuck in the same place. And no, it is not a lack of ability, nor is it that you are doing something wrong. It is simply a signal that your mind, your body, and your energy have not been completely aligned. Joe Dispenza speaks about this clearly. It is not about trying harder, but about entering into coherence. Because when the body begins to feel what the mind understands, something changes, and that change does not come from effort, but from a different internal state. That is why this moment is important. You are not here just to relax. You are entering a space where your system begins to reorganize, especially now. in this point close to sleep, where your conscious mind begins to yield and your subconscious becomes more receptive. And it is there where everything can begin to change. And as you begin to understand this, it also becomes clearer why this type of practice has such a profound impact on you. Joe Dispenza has dedicated years to studying how thoughts, emotions, and internal states not only influence the mind, but also the biology of the body and the reality you experience, integrating principles of neuroscience, epigenetics, and mind-body coherence. His research shows that when the body enters a state of deep relaxation, like the one that naturally occurs before sleep, the activity of the analytical mind decreases and the subconscious becomes more receptive. It is at that point where patterns can begin to reorganize, not from effort, but from a deeper level, more silent. And it is exactly there where you are moving closer to now. And as you move closer to this point, where everything begins to become more silent, you can also notice that you no longer need to do anything else. Just be here. Perhaps your body is already beginning to settle in a more natural way, finding a position where the weight is released little by little, where the muscles stop holding unnecessary tension, and where each small part of you begins to surrender without effort. If at any moment it feels right, you can close your eyes, not as an obligation, but as a way to enter more deeply into this space where everything is simpler, more internal. Joe Dispenza has explained that when the body stops constantly reacting to the environment, it begins to enter a state where it can reorganize, one where energy stops being dispersed and begins to center. Here you do not need to understand what is happening or control the process, because there is an intelligence within you that already knows how to do it. And if this moment resonates with you, you can leave a written intention, a conscious signal that you are choosing to enter into coherence, allowing this process to continue even beyond this instant. And in this calmer state, where the body begins to release without effort, it is natural that something within you begins to reorganize in a way that doesn't need to be fully understood. Joe Dispenza has explained that when you enter this type of deep relaxation, especially before sleep, the brain begins to shift its activity towards slower frequencies such as alpha and theta. At that point, the analytical mind loses strength, and the subconscious becomes much more receptive to new ways of interpreting and experiencing reality. That is why it is not necessary for you to maintain perfect attention. If thoughts appear, if your mind drifts at times, or even if something interrupts your focus, nothing is lost. The process continues to function at a deeper level, because it is there, in that internal space, where control decreases, where the brain can begin to change its connections, reorganizing patterns without effort, allowing something new to begin to establish itself within you. And as this understanding begins to settle within you, you can start to feel how your attention stops focusing on ideas and begins to gently descend into the body, into what you are actually experiencing in this moment. Joe Dispenza speaks about this moment as the point where the body becomes the mind and where experience begins to matter more than thought. Now, you can take a slow and deep inhalation, feeling how the air enters like a soft energy, like a warm light that expands from the chest into your entire interior, moving through every space, cleansing effortlessly. And as you exhale, allow that same energy to carry away any tension, any accumulated weight, as if the body were gradually emptying, Once again, inhale slowly, allowing that sensation of clarity to expand, to reach every corner. And as you exhale, release, without holding anything, without the need to control. Continue at your own rhythm, allowing each breath to become deeper, more natural, as if each cycle were taking you a little further inward, where everything begins to feel lighter, calmer. And without realizing it, as you continue breathing in this way, something begins to release even more deeply, as if control were no longer necessary, and your body begins to enter a state where everything happens on its own. Joe Dispenza describes this point as that mean when the analytical mind dissolves and the subconscious begins to open. Now, each breath becomes a threshold, a silent step into a different space, as if you were crossing an invisible portal where time no longer exists, where there is no urgency, where nothing needs to be resolved, only experienced. You can observe your body without interfering, noticing how it becomes lighter, more distant. As if it were beginning to float gently, supported by something you do not know to understand. The environment becomes vast, almost infinite, an internal space where everything is calm, where each sensation expands without resistance. And as you remain there, something within you continues to descend into a deeper level, more silent, more receptive. And in the middle of that silent space, where everything seems suspended, something begins to reveal itself gently before you, as if it had always been there, waiting for your perception to become calm enough to notice it. Joe Dispenza describes this field as a space where reality has not yet taken form, where all possibilities exist at the same time. And now, you can begin to perceive it in front of you. A subtle presence begins to materialize, a sphere of light, soft, golden, pulsating, as if it were breathing with you, expanding slightly with each inhalation and contracting with each exhalation. It is not a static light. It is alive. It has its own vibration, a temperature that feels warm, enveloping, as if it recognizes you. You can observe it for a moment, without hurry, noticing how it responds to your state, how it adjusts. How cute it seems to move a little closer as you remain in calm. Now, without effort, you slowly move closer, reducing the distance, feeling how its energy becomes more intense, more present, until you are close enough to perceive its texture, almost like a soft, vibrating surface. And at that point, you can allow a subtle contact, barely touching it. And as you do, a sensation moves through your body, like a gentle current, expanding from that point inward, reminding you that this field is not outside of you, but is part of what you are, a space where everything already exists, waiting to be experienced. And in the instant that contact becomes deeper, it stops feeling like something external and begins to be experienced from within, as if there were no longer any distance between what you perceive and what you are. Joe Dispenza describes this moment as the point where the body begins to remember a new state. Now, that energy that was in front of you begins to move even closer, without resistance, without effort, until it gently passes through your space and integrates into your chest, at the center, expanding from there like a warm, living presence. Feeling how that vibration makes its way into your shoulders, descending through your arms, moving slowly until it reaches your hands, as if each cell were awakening. Then it rises toward your neck, your face, your head, enveloping each thought in a sensation of clarity, while it descends out again through your back, your abdomen, your legs, until it reaches your feet, creating a sensation of unity, of coherence, of internal reorganization. As if something in your biology begins to align without you needing to intervene. Each pulsation, each expansion is a signal that this energy is no longer something you observe. It is something that lives within you, that becomes your state, your way of feeling, your way of being. And as you remain in this experience, everything within you begins to settle, to integrate, to stabilize in silence. And as that energy stabilizes within you, the space around you begins to transform gently, as if something new were emerging from within you, not as an external image, but as a natural extension of what you are now able to perceive. Joe Dispenza speaks of this point as the moment when you access a potential version of yourself that already exists in the field. And now, in front of you, a form appears, a mirror, but it is not an ordinary mirror. Its surface is not fixed. It moves slightly, as if it were breathing, as if it had a life of its own. As you move closer, you begin to notice that it does not reflect what you were, but what you have already begun to become, a version of you that is sustained by a different kind of calm, with a stable presence. Its posture is firm but relaxed. Its gaze is clear, direct, without doubt. There is a silent confidence in the way it expresses itself, in the way it simply is. You can observe how it moves, how it breathes, how everything in that image conveys coherence. There is no tension, there is no effort, only a sensation of alignment. And as you move closer, something within you recognizes that frequency, as if it were not something new, but something that has always been waiting to be activated. Now, you can extend your hand, moving closer slowly, until you touch the surface. And in that contact, you feel a transfer, a gentle, warm current that moves through your arms, your chest, your mind, as if both versions begin to synchronize, without separation, without distance, as if they had never truly been apart. And at that point where the contact becomes completely natural, there is no longer any difference between what you observe and what you feel within you, as if everything begins to unify without effort. Joe Dispenza describes this moment as the instant when the body stops distinguishing between an internal experience and an external reality. Now, the mirror in front of you begins to lose its form. Its surface becomes diffuse, as if it were slowly dissolving. It does not disappear. It transforms. It expands, integrating into the space that you now inhabit. And as this happens, that version you were contemplating stops being in front of you and begins to be felt within, not as an idea, but as a stable presence, as a sensation that settles into the body, into the breath, into the way everything is perceived. There is no longer any distance. There is no search. There is nothing to reach, only a silent, deep integration, where every part of you begins to settle into this new state, as if it had always been this way. And as you remain here, everything becomes simpler, clearer, more complete, without the need to do anything, without the need to try, simply be you. And little by little, everything you have experienced begins to settle in silence, as if every part of you were finding its place naturally, without you needing to do anything else. Joe Dispenza explains that it is in these states, when the body enters a deep stillness, that the subconscious continues the process, integrating what has been experienced without conscious intervention. Now, you can notice how your body becomes heavier, more comfortable, as if it were gently descending into a space of rest. The breath follows its own rhythm, without effort, without direction, and the mind begins to fade slowly, as if it were drifting away without resistance. You do not need to hold on to any idea, nor maintain any attention, because what is essential is already happening. At a deeper level, as you let yourself go, this process continues on reorganizing patterns, establishing new connections, allowing what you have felt to become part of you, like a more stable, more coherent foundation. And as rest begins to envelop you, everything continues to flow, in silence, beyond awareness. I hold myself with compassion as the old falls away. I am releasing old roles I no longer need to play. Every part of this transformation strengthens me from within. I am walking more lightly toward a more real version of myself. I am honoring the unique rhythm of my process. I allow myself to grow, even if it brings temporary discomfort. I am letting my inner fire purify what no longer serves me. I am renewing my thoughts from a more conscious place. This transition is preparing me to manifest a new reality. I am choosing the new, even if I don't fully understand it yet. I am letting go of the conditioning that once defined me. I am allowing this transformation to reveal a new purpose. I embrace myself in the midst of uncertainty because I trust my process. I am letting self-love lead my rebirth. Each aligned decision strengthens this new version of me. I am observing how my mind adapts to a different life. I I am releasing what no longer serves me, even if it once helped me. I am living a transformation that begins at the root. I am flowing with changes I once would have resisted. This new version of me is emerging with strength and authenticity. The invisible works in favor of desires born from expansion. Every word born from certainty holds creative power. The field responds better to stillness than to haste. When control is released, the flow is restored. Every vision that honors life is destined to be fulfilled. Inner calm is the best ground for creation. Silent faith is more powerful than any plan. Abundance becomes the new normal when what already exists is honored. An open heart is the portal through which all things new enter. Forms adjust themselves when energy is in coherence. Each day is a quantum field awaiting direction. What once seemed distant now vibrates within reach. Worthiness is not earned, it is recognized. What is held with devotion finds its form. Every elevated intention has universal support. When the waiting is honored, the manifestation arrives whole. What is essential manifests without effort. More is received when there are no rigid expectations. Abundance is felt first, and then it arrives. The universe opens where there is surrender, not where there is pressure. I merge with the infinite energy of universal consciousness. I am transcending my limited identity and accessing my true self. I allow the dissolution of my past self to become pure presence. Each time I release control, universal intelligence takes the lead. I am creating coherence between my heart, my mind, and the field. I feel my energy rising as I connect with the deep now. I am awakening to the remembrance that I am pure consciousness in expansion. My mind surrenders, and the unknown reveals its perfect order to me. I enter the sacred void where transformation happens. I align with elevated frequencies that reconfigure my reality. I am activating within me the wisdom of an invisible, intelligent field. I allow the energy of universal love to heal and guide me. I dissolve into the field and return filled with light, clarity, and truth. Each elevated thought becomes a bridge to infinity. I choose a reality that is higher, more coherent, more luminous. The energy of the universe responds to my elevated present frequency. I am merging with a consciousness that has no beginning or end. I become the conscious observer of my inner creation. I enter a state of presence that transcends time. I am remembering my ability to access the quantum field from the heart. I remain still within myself, even as the world moves around me. Inhabiting my body with gentleness is also a form of presence. I surrender to this pause, as if time didn't exist. In this now, nothing is missing. I feel accompanied by the calm I choose for myself. Everything is okay when I stop resisting the flow. There are no questions here, only direct experience. I open to the present moment with full trust. Serenity begins in the way I breathe this very second. I am being, without needing to explain myself. I allow myself to disconnect from the noise without disconnecting from me. This moment is my practice, my temple, and my home. I relax with the certainty that the now is enough. My entire nervous system thanks me for this conscious pause. The present welcomes me unconditionally. I become a loving observer of everything that arises and fades. I feel part of the space around me, without limits, without edges. Each deep breath reminds me I am here. I stay in this moment, without rushing ahead. I am choosing stillness as my place of power. Each repeated thought becomes a new belief. I use my imagination as a tool for expansion. I am activating new neural pathways aligned with my evolution. I allow myself to live the reality I am already creating with my mind. What I hold inside manifests effortlessly. I choose new mental routes each time I think consciously. My reality responds to the information I hold within me. I am manifesting experiences that reflect my mental power. I vibrate in harmony with what I decide to think and feel. I choose my thoughts as one would choose seeds for a new garden. I am creating new possibilities from the clarity of my mind. Every elevated thought I choose transforms my surroundings. I am awake to the impact my thoughts have on my life. I remain aligned with thoughts that expand my reality. I recognize the silent power of my focus. I choose to live from an open, receptive, and creative mind. Every image I visualize with emotion anchors itself in my subconscious. I am rewriting my experience through the power of my intention. I am someone who cultivates conscious and transformative thoughts. I focus only on what I desire to see manifested. I remember that I am the vibrational source of all I experience. Today, I become someone whose energy anticipates blessings. I am reprogramming my frequency to reflect the unlimited. I vibrate as someone who has already awakened their creative power. I am activating a vibration that transcends the laws of time. I manifest from a place of silent fullness. My energy is informing the universe that I am already prepared. I let vibration guide my actions, not fear. I feel aligned with a reality where everything flows without friction. I resonate with thoughts that multiply what I love. I generate a signal so clear that only the best can respond. I connect with the outcome in my body, not just my mind. I am expanding my field with every elevated emotion I hold. I generate a vibrational echo that brings me what my soul has asked for. I vibrate with the confidence of one who knows they already are. I am manifesting from identity, not from intention. My conscious vibration rewrites old patterns. I allow gratitude to place me in the state of fulfillment. I vibrate as one who has already been answered. I am letting the emotion of achievement settle within me. I am letting the meaning of my life emerge from inner silence. I am becoming the kind of being my purpose requires. I am activating a reality where all growth is expansion. I am willing to go beyond comfort to live in truth. Today, I decide to make space for the new by releasing the known. I am walking toward my purpose, like one follows an inner compass. I give myself permission to live my mission without justifying it to anyone. I honor every part of myself that contributed to this new awakening. I am evolving without violence, from a place of compassion. I recognize myself as a process in constant evolution. I am expressing through actions the transformation that is already mine. Each night, my energy aligns with the frequency of my vision. I am learning to choose from wisdom, not haste. I am ready to hold what I once dreamed of. Everything I leave behind makes space for the person I am becoming. I choose to surround myself with experiences that expand, not limit. I feel how what once hurt now reveals. I move in the direction of what ignites my soul. I am living in creator mode, not automatic mode. My evolution no longer depends on the past, but on the intention I hold now. I am ready to manifest what this new awareness inspires me to create. I am being effortlessly transformed by my own inner clarity. I am freeing myself from narratives I did not consciously choose. I am rebuilding my life with renewed values. This transformation connects me more fully to the present moment. I am allowing the essential to take the place of the superficial. I am in tune with a version of myself that is more honest and powerful. I am willing to see the world through new eyes. I am moving away from what once kept me asleep. I am letting go of the need to fit into old structures. I am allowing this transformation to reveal new ways of loving and living. I am freeing myself from every rigid idea of whose I should be. I am emerging as someone more conscious, free, and at peace. This transformation is an act of love toward my own evolution. I am allowing the unknown to carry me toward my true destiny. I am prepared to support my growth with dignity. I am welcoming the freedom that comes with inner change. I am choosing to release everything that no longer supports my expansion. I am completing a cycle with gratitude and openness. I am receiving my rebirth as a well-deserved blessing. I am ready to live from my deepest truth. The quantum field responds precisely to the energy of gratitude. True expansion happens when trust is unconditional. Each new moment holds a seed of abundance waiting to be activated. Life is ready to give more than was ever thought possible. The natural flow of existence is effortless wholeness. Nothing is withheld from those who have released all expectations. Every desire born of love is guaranteed its path. The universe gives without measure to those who remain open. Every particle of reality vibrates with the impulse of expansion. What is essential arrives when it is allowed without doubt. Inner clarity attracts outer blessings effortlessly. What once seemed unlikely now feels inevitable. Abundance cannot be forced. It is cultivated in the present. Every instant is an opportunity to receive more by doing less. Emotional coherence acts like a magnet for all that is good. When the heart aligns, life responds in full. What is received is what one is ready to hold with love. The invisible always works in favor of genuine trust. Serenity is the key that opens the doors to abundance. Conscious surrender allows the universal order to be revealed. I feel supported by an ordering intelligence that knows me better than I know myself. I release my old personality and choose a new destiny. I dive into nothingness and emerge as the all within me. I am breathing from the frequency of the unlimited. My mindful attention opens invisible doors to higher planes. I choose to vibrate beyond the body, environment, and time. I align with a universal mind that is always creating. I allow elevated energy to reorganize my life from within. I am vibrating as a conscious extension of the Source. I am accessing information that transcends my usual logic. My heart rate synchronizes with the wisdom of the universe. I am dissolving all separation and remembering that I am one with the All. I am entering resonance with the divine order of creation. Each time I connect with the now, the eternal manifests within me. I am cultivating energetic coherence that transforms my biology. I feel my electromagnetic field expanding with gratitude. I recognize myself as part of an infinite evolving consciousness. I am activating quantum memories that were sleeping inside me. I am crossing the threshold from thought into conscious creation. I allow myself to become a new energy, a new reality. Nothing needs to change for me to relax. Life feels lighter when I surrender to the present. I listen to myself from silence, without judgment. I settle into the now, as one settles into rest. I'm allowing time to come to a stop within me. Every second I breathe with attention becomes medicine. I feel supported by something greater when I stop rushing. This moment alone is enough to recover my calm. I dwell in the here without wishing to be anywhere else. I allow myself to be space, not just thought. Presence becomes clearer when I stop trying. My body and mind find relief in this chosen pause. Nothing from the past or the future disturbs this calm. I am in communion with the silence that transforms me. I do nothing, and yet everything settles within me. I am anchored in a peace that doesn't depend on circumstances. I relax, knowing there is nothing I need to solve in this moment. My system reorganizes itself in the calm I choose to hold. The air I breathe is enough to sustain me now. I let myself fall into this experience as if it were a safe resting place. I am in a constant process of conscious creation. Whenever I imagine from the heart, I activate a new line of reality. I use my mind as an instrument of expansion. I choose to nourish thoughts that reflect the life I want to live. I am releasing mental patterns that no longer align with my vision. I feel inspired by the certainty that everything begins within me. I activate new frequencies with every elevated thought. My external reality adjusts to the quality of my internal thoughts. I am training my mind to imagine without limits. I create a fertile inner environment for new realities. I feel empowered by consciously choosing what I think. replace doubt with images of certainty. Every constructive thought I hold is reflected in my surroundings. I am awakening to a new level of inner creation. I am someone who thinks with intention and acts with vision. I am shaping my present through elevated thoughts. The field around me responds to the information I emit from my mind. I am aware that every thought leaves a vibrational imprint. I align with thoughts that reflect my evolutions and expansion. I create effortlessly when my mind and heart are in sync. Every present moment is an opportunity to send a higher signal. I attract what reflects my expansion, not my need. Today, I let my energy speak louder than my limiting thoughts. I am being guided towards situations that match my current frequency. I am tuning into the most loving and powerful timeline for me. I vibrate with serene determination, not anxiety disguised as desire. I allow myself to imagine and feel as if everything is already fulfilled. I am co-creating with the field every time I hold a coherent emotion. My vibration precedes me, opening doors before I arrive physically. I am cultivating a vibrational relationship with my highest vision. I am resting in the vibrational security that all is on its way. Today, I choose to vibrate with calm because I trust the quantum design. I let the universe show me its precision. I vibrate with results before they materialize. I attract people, places, and opportunities that expand my field. I become the version of myself who already lives, enjoys, and shares it. I am training my body to recognize the signal of the miracle. I am magnetizing what vibrates in harmony with my essence. Today, I open myself to receive with the same intensity with which I have imagined. I am emitting a vibration so elevated that the universe has no choice but to respond. I recognize myself as a work in expansion, not as a fixed outcome. I am willing to let growth be greater than my excuses. Each night, my subconscious programs itself to align with my evolution. I am deactivating the inner voices that invite me to give up. I open myself to a version of me that is more present, more stable, more authentic. I choose to live from my soul, even if that means changing everything. Every difficult experience is pushing me to a higher level of consciousness. I am breathing into an identity that has no hurry, only intention. I allow myself to inhabit a life where purpose is not a goal, but a state. The expansion I seek is already being nurtured within me. Each day represents a new opportunity to remind myself where I'm headed. I am letting clarity replace the confusion of who I once was. I don't need to know everything to move forward. I need to trust more. I become someone who walks with purpose even if I don't yet see the whole path. I am willing to be new in everything I once feared to try. The energy of the universe conspires in favor of those who act from intention. I am building a reality guided by vision, not repetition. I recognize the difference between moving forward out of fear and moving forward out of expansion. Today I come closer to myself than I ever have before. I am letting experience reshape my understanding of who I am. I am in a constant process of inner renewal. Each day, I release what no longer represents me. I allow myself to close cycles with gratitude and awareness. I am reborn from within with every aligned thought. I am leaving behind everything that limits my expansion. My transformation is inevitable because it is already in motion. I gently let go of the older versions of myself. I am available to become who I truly am. Evolution happens when I surrender to change. Every breath brings me closer to my new identity. I rebuild myself with wisdom, and experience. I am at peace with what was and excited for what's to come. I open myself to a new life, more authentic and powerful. I reinvent myself without fear, with trust and purpose. Each change connects me more deeply to my essence, I am ready to bloom in this new chapter. The past no longer defines what I'm capable of creating now. Every part of me I release makes space for something greater. I trust the process of undoing in order to be reborn. I am transitioning into a more aligned and expansive life. There are no limits for those who act from the frequency of oneness. All forms of wealth are born from a present mind. Where there is alignment, there are natural and harmonious results. Expansion arrives through softness, not pressure. Every clear image held with emotion becomes matter. The right opportunities appear at the perfect moment. When you vibrate with joy, reality responds with gifts. There's no need to push, only to allow. The most powerful energy is that of someone who already feels whole. Access to the unlimited is activated in deep states of presence. Every loving thought prepares the ground for abundance. When fear is released, receiving begins. Elevated ideas are seeds of future prosperity. What is honored in silence blossoms into greatness. Receiving becomes a sacred act when practiced without guilt. Abundance is closest to those who know how to see without anxiety. Paths open for those who walk with serene faith. Every creation begins as a vibration gently sustained. When the body relaxes, the universe flows more freely. Trust is the frequency that organizes the invisible. I am vibrating in harmony with an intelligence that knows and loves all. I am connecting with a field of pure and elevated potentials. I remain present in the space where matter transforms with intention. I am allowing the frequency of universal love to reorganize my being. My energy is information vibrating to the rhythm of the universe. I am healing by changing the signal I emit to the field. I am awakening to the truth that I am energy before form. I am remembering that all I seek already lives within me. I merge with the totality and leave behind the illusions of the separate self. I am tuning into a consciousness more real than the physical. I am vibrating with the intention to be completely transformed. I become a magnet for experiences that reflect my new frequency. I surrender my life to the mystery of conscious creation. Every thought of unity awakens my dormant spiritual. I feel how my biology responds to the light of consciousness. I am entering coherence with a field of higher intelligence. I open myself to knowledge that comes not from thought, but from the soul. I am being restored by an energy that transcends time. I choose to live from the field, not from habit. I feel how the field reorganizes me energetically, emotionally, and physically. I am in tune with a deep state of quiet trust. Full presence is the greatest gift I can give myself. I can stay here, simply being. I allow myself to exist without labels, without demands. Inner silence creates a new stability within me. Dwelling in calm returns me to my inner guidance. I let go of the weight of what doesn't belong to the now. The moment leads me to a wisdom beyond words. I am exactly where I can breathe with total freedom. I recognize myself as part of the natural rhythm of existence. My breath becomes my anchor when everything changes. I return to my center with every calm inhalation. I allow myself to stop completely, owing nothing to time. I am in direct connection with the peace that lives within me. The slowness I'm experiencing now is deeply nourishing. I feel held within the fertile emptiness of the present. This very second holds everything I need. I am learning to trust the wisdom of rest. I don't need to be more, just to be. softens as it surrenders to what already is. I transform my life by directing my mental energy with purpose. Every thought I repeat with emotion becomes more real. I am creating an inner narrative that supports the reality I desire. I feel capable of redirecting my mind at any moment. I create new mental pathways based on possibilities, not fears. I use my attention as a tool for manifestation. I remember that my thoughts are seeds of experience. My mind has the power to activate any future I choose to hold. I focus on who I want to be, not on what I want to avoid. I am in command of my mental energy and the stories I tell myself. Every clear visualization is a message the universe responds to. I align with thoughts that strengthen my emotional state. I allow myself to imagine with total freedom and without limits. I replace old mental patterns with new conscious visions. I train my mind to hold images of fullness. My inner world determines the quality of my external experience. I create reality from the invisible language of my thoughts. Each time I focus my mind, I manifest a new outcome. I am aware of the creative power that flows from my imagination. I let my mind actively collaborate with my evolution. The quantum field responds to my coherence, not to my effort. I am vibrating beyond what I once thought possible. I become the frequency of an expanded and prosperous reality. Everything I desire already exists. I only need to vibrationally align. I feel how my energy orders the universe in my favor. I am resonating with all that elevates my existence. Today I act, think, and vibrate as one who already has it. I remain faithful to the emotion of the result, not to waiting. I am letting my vibration rise higher than my doubts. I vibrate with the emotion of fulfilled achievement, creating invisible paths. I am sending the field a signal that can only be answered with yes. I feel excited for what I know is already manifesting. I am an open channel to receive all that aligns with my soul. I am adjusting my energy to match the life I desire. Everything within me is aligned with a vision, already real in another dimension. I vibrate with gentleness, certainty, and a faith that needs no proof. I allow the natural magnetism of my being to act without friction. My body is increasingly accustomed to feeling abundance. I release desire as lack and embrace it as creative energy. The highest version of myself is already activating the reality I chose. I feel supported by an intelligence that organizes my life when I let go of control. Every inner transformation creates a new outer structure. I am remembering why I came and removing what blocks it. I surround myself with thoughts that push me toward who I am called to be. I am learning that discomfort is often a sign of the right direction. I am letting go of versions of myself that merely survive to make room for one that truly lives. I am activating within me an energy that collaborates with my purpose. My identity is no longer defined by what I have achieved, but by what I choose to build. Transformation does not happen all at once. It happens when I commit daily. I allow myself to move forward, even if others don't understand my process. I feel how my soul celebrates every act of coherence. I am unlocking dormant potential through sustained presence. Every step I take with awareness orders my inner energy. I recognize myself as someone expanding, not as someone incomplete. Today, I stop waiting for perfect conditions to begin living with purpose. I am releasing the need for certainty in order to walk with faith. I commit to an evolution that respects my inner rhythms. I remember that I did not come to meet expectations, but to fulfill my purpose. Life is preparing me for something greater than I imagined. I observe myself with more love than judgment, and from there, true change arises.